Hi, and welcome everyone to the end of life journey and beyond the sands of time. My name is Lisa Strahs-Lorenc, and I'm a bereavement specialist. I know it's been a little while, but it's really nice to see you, Susan.
So nice to see you, Lisa. But we know you were away on a wonderful vacation. So welcome back. And let's get going on today's video. Labor Day has passed. Labor Day was actually yesterday, and we're entering a new season, the season of fall. Okay. So when you lose a significant person in your life, whether it's a spouse, a family member, a good friend, it doesn't matter. Every season we go through thereafter will be different, each having their own challenges, right? That leave us feeling overwhelmed. We simply just want to get through. That's all. We live to get through the season. Some seasons are tougher than others, and Lisa and I both know firsthand. For some, it's spring, when everything comes alive and the flowers are peeking through the ground and the deep green colors are coming out on the leaves again, right? And the grass is renewing and restoring itself, and just the beauty and the vitality of it. But that can make us sad because the world keeps moving every day, even though we don't want it to and we think it should stop or has stopped, it keeps moving. And for others, it could be the winter. Somehow, and I know this especially with me, somehow the cold and the ice and the snow, it's scary for people. You feel alone, you feel you have no control of what's happening. It's a financial burden when you pay for oil and you worry about your oil tank working and your system, and you want to crawl up in a ball and lay under the heaviest blanket you can get your hands on and just hibernate like a big brown bear, right? So that could be your winter. But as fall approaches, there are different reasons for different seasons, basically. And we can't leave out this beautiful season. And this is something that we want to talk to you about today. So, if you're lucky enough to live in the Northeast like we are, the beauty of fall is tremendous all around us. And like me, there were several things that I used to do with my family in the fall every year as the kids were growing. And suddenly, when my husband passed, that stopped. I have memories and we have a few photos of some of those fun things that we did in the fall. But that's not it. Does it mean much? Yeah, we still have that. But the most important thing for you to remember is what for me to remember is that I am still here.
Yep.
I'm still here and I can still do some of the things that I did before.
Yes.
And we forget that because it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right, and we just don't know how. So if you're grieving or mourning the loss of a person that you love very much, listen in today because Lisa and I we're going to talk about a few things that you can do to make a plan that will help in your own healing process. So thank you for coming back from vacation today, Lisa, and deep diving into this process as a new season is approaching.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the fall, by the way. The
I
fall
do
has for
too.
me incredible memories. And so for me, you take those memories and things you did and you let them evolve into some other type of memory that you can do. Let's just bring up fall leaf peaking. Love going on drives and going upstate and going on these routes. I mean, the AAA has all these routes that you can take for all kinds of fall peaking. Um, and I don't know if people were doing that, but we always did that. That was our annual thing that we always did. So I've started a new annual thing. I have friends up in Vermont, and I go to see them at least once a year in the fall. And, always like beginning of October, end of September, whenever it's getting really, and it's so beautiful. And you can really just enjoy it. And again, it's not the same and nothing is the same, but what we're doing is we're trying to still enjoy aspects of something that we loved
Of
before.
pieces that may be a little bit different now, but I think it's important, and we both believe this, Lisa, that you have to embrace the change as something new
Yes.
But also, and it's natural that you feel in this way, of course, but it's time to find some solace in just your own being.
That's right.
If you have many, many friends and a big support system and lots of people who want to spend a Saturday afternoon with you, that's wonderful. But for those of you who don't, that's okay too, because it's a chance for you to learn more about yourself again
Yes.
as yourself and to do some of these things all by yourself. One thing that I was thinking of when we were deciding to do this, I was thinking about, you know, taking a day trip. We've talked about this in the past, but really engaging in going out there and looking for some magical things to happen today on purpose, looking for some special minutes during your day or little surprises or something new that you didn't know or you've never seen before. And look for these things as you're out there taking the drive by yourself. And when you run into the convenience store and the girl behind the counter has pink hair, notice it and say, "Hey, I love your pink hair goes great with your blue eyes." And give compliments during that whole day. And by the time you're done with your day and you get home, wow, I bet that you're going to say to yourself, "What a great day. If I didn't do this and get out there and take the first step to doing something in this beautiful fall season, even if it is by yourself, you would have never have experienced everything you did that day."
So here's what I hear, okay?
Yeah,
Being present. Okay, being
that's
present.
right.
So when I go out by myself, we used to always go pumpkin picking. That was our thing. And I have somebody who is not really into pumpkin picking. So I've chosen to go alone and I go out east on Long Island and there's a lot of farms and they have corn mazes like the kids used to go into. And they have, of course, the fields, which I always go into and pick, even though it's more money sometimes than going to the store. And I always have the roasted corn and the apple cider and things, but I'm present. I'm there not as what used to be. I'm present as I am now. And it takes a while to get there, but believe me, it's worth the process.
You have
Um,
to fake it till you make it. And I
that's
hate to
right.
use that phrase, but
That's right.
it's true,
That's right.
as with anything, but you have to take those first steps to get
That's,
yourself outside of your comfort zone,
that's right. That's right. Um,
right?
a- yeah, and the same thing as Halloween. I mean, Halloween was always a big holiday for my family. I mean, my husband, we always dressed up the whole family. We always did a lot of fun things. And, you have to, if Halloween is something that's fun for you, find some single groups or find some places that you could go and start enjoying it again. Again, don't expect it to be at the same level. Don't expect to be the same. And in fact, never compare. Don't ever compare. That's the worst you could do. So just be present and enjoy that moment, that party or that, what are you going to be this year? Or,
And maybe new things to find that you haven't done before, even with traditions. But you will find things, you know yourself a little bit, right? You will find things that you know you like or that you know you don't like. So one example, and in my business, I go on social media a lot. I have to, right? We do for our work. But I know that that bothered me for a long time after I went through my struggles with all the loss in my life because I was seeing pictures of people's friends having fun and families having
right,
fun. I
right,
didn't want to see that
right.
because I wasn't there. Yeah, I
Sure,
wasn't having fun with them.
sure.
So you know what makes you feel good and what doesn't make you feel good. So stay away from those things, but try and implement some new things
Yes,
too.
yes,
And in the fall season, there are so many, whether it be the pumpkins, scenic walks, there's arboretums around, there's
yes,
parks around, and you can just stroll and walk around the lake and look at the colors of the trees. Take up a few hours of your day. Go to a deli and grab a sandwich or bring some fruit from the refrigerator and enjoy spending your day out. Bring plenty of water.
Yes,
but stepping outside of your comfort zone is really important. And in fall, I mean, there's so many things to do, Lisa,
I
right?
know.
Think of
I know.
museums too. Think of historical villages, towns that have different types of um, learning opportunities and education and to learn about our country.
For me, it's
There's
all the, oh, look at all the festivals that happen in the fall. It's
right.
amazing. You could have every week, you could have a different festival that's going on.
And if you look online, there are websites that will show you the calendar for the month, wherever you live, and it'll show you different events that are happening and festivals and concerts and things that take place. But you have to be proactive
Yes.
in looking for it, okay, and then planning it. So maybe you're doing other things during the week. Maybe you're back to work. Maybe you're okay, but you're having a real hard time. Well, let's plan your weekends. Let's start with that. Get your calendar out. Look for things that are happening in your area and put them on your calendar.
Yep.
For this Saturday, next Saturday, we have a few months now where the weather is still really nice in a lot of parts, really hot, as a matter of fact. Makes me wonder about how the weather's going to go. But
Yes.
and when you plan it and it's on there, yeah, the day may come where you just don't want to get out of bed. We understand that. But sometimes if you force yourself, and I know this firsthand, I don't want to get dressed and I don't want to leave the
Sure.
house.
Sure.
Okay. But once I get dressed and force myself to get in the car and to go wherever I'm going, I'm always grateful and I laugh at myself after because it was just taking that first step to get
Yes.
out.
Yes.
And
Very.
then I always ended up having a nice time. I was outside of my brain for a while when you're out in nature or doing things, right?
Yes.
And that's what
Yes.
you have to do.
Yes. But very difficult. We acknowledge how difficult that is. And we acknowledge how hurtful and sad it is. So small steps, small
That's right.
steps.
Reach
Maybe,
out. Reach out for support. Lean on other people. Find that one friend or family member and just let them know I'm still having a really hard time.
yeah,
You think you want to go take a ride with me to Port Jeff and walk around on Saturday? I need to get out of the house. As simple as that. People don't know what to do. Remember, we talk about this all the time.
we
So
do.
if you're not direct and you don't tell them what to do, they don't know.
Sure.
They think you're having
But they're fine. They're coming along. They're fine.
fun. You're having friends over for lunch. You're having family over for dinner. They think everything's okay with you.
Yeah.
Because why? Because you haven't talked to somebody in a while and you say, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm doing okay." You have to be honest with your feelings and emotion. There's other things too that we always do in fall. What about cooking?
Sure.
What about getting the crock pot out and saying, okay. And this is one thing that I want to recommend because it's a good reference the time of year. So it is the first week in September. You have 4 months until Christmas, right? Find something that you've always wanted to learn to do. And if there isn't something, well, find something. Look around and find something, whether that be perfecting a certain recipe, whether it be to start a journaling process, whether it be to learn a new language or crocheting, right? Find something that you can learn so that when Christmas comes, you can say, wow, look what I can do now that I never could do before.
Yeah. I love that idea.
Put
Love
it
that
on your
idea.
calendar, you said you have till December and spend as many days as you can. And that may be one day a week, but it might be two. And if you really feel lonely and sad and by yourself, it might become three or 4 nights a week if you're sitting home in front of the TV,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? But you're learning something. Maybe it's playing the piano. Maybe it's, and keyboards are cheap enough to get on Amazon and sheet music. I was
Yes.
almost going to do that myself and,
Yes.
practice a little song, one song. Mary Had a Little Lamb is the easiest thing, right? And then get good at it and get good at it and try another one. And then on Christmas, when your family comes, say, look what I can do and play Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
learn a new skill. It takes your mindset out of the moment that you're in and helps you look forward to some kind of a goal or something to look forward to do.
Yeah.
You know, reading's great. Reading's got me through my whole life, reading nonfiction books because I always have to learn. But hands-on,
Yeah.
working on something. What about if you've had 10 boxes of photos, right? We've all collected photos through the years. So make it a goal that by Christmas time, they're either going to all be digital, they'll all be in scrapbooks, they'll all be in albums. I'll make copies of my favorites for all my kids
Yeah.
or my grandchildren, or specifically make the goal and write it down, okay? And say, I have 4 months to do this. How many weeks is that? Okay, I need to spend this amount of time each week to get to the finished project. It's especially helpful for people who are grieving. Everybody should do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
People who are grieving, it's important because it's therapy.
Yes, it
It's
is.
in
It
itself,
is.
right?
Which reminds me that there's a lot of continuing education classes in your local school districts and stuff. Look at those things. They're doing an AI program, artificial intelligence. Hey, what is that? And what's going on? I mean, there's so many interesting things that happen with, in the small circle of your community.
I just found out, Lisa, and I never ever knew this, and I'm on a couple councils at Stony Brook University Hospital, that they have a program for 50 and over, um, continuing education.
Wow.
And it's, I don't know if it's free or minimal, teeny tiny cost for each course that you take, but you go there, you're with other people. And when I tell you the amazing topics that you learn and the discussions that are had on individual, art and history and all these wonderful, beautiful things that I'm
Yes.
happy I found out that that's there. So
Oh,
I'm sure resources
yeah.
everywhere if you want.
Same thing, local community colleges. That's another great example. And of course, your local school districts. Great topics, different things, dancing and exercise and cooking and sewing. There's so many things. Try to be open to what you might want to do that might,
Challenge
open some
yourself.
channels.
Maybe you've never challenged yourself in your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And say to yourself, hey, I can be an expert blank by Christmas time.
Hmm.
So the fall season, that's the perfect time to do this.
Yeah.
And you might be calling us at Christmas time and thanking us and
Yes.
letting us know that because of your YouTube video, now I know how to knit. I don't know, whatever it is you're looking to do. There's so many wonderful things.
The fall season is also family. Okay. You have the Jewish New Year, which is very big for some people. You have Thanksgiving. So you have to figure out how you're going to handle those holidays and who you choose to be around and how you're going to speak to people. Especially make it clear that you want the memories. You don't want a family to not talk about your person. That's the worst, by the way, to feel like
Yeah.
that person is gone, just gone from everybody's memory. And that is very, very hurtful. And people say all the time, well, I don't know what to say, whatever. But it is so difficult to cope with people who listen, they don't understand, they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do. But part of it is saying, I enjoy talking about the memories. I
And that's
enjoy,
the thing. Once they know that you're okay with that,
yes,
all
yes,
right, then all the stories come out and the
yes,
sharing comes out. And that makes it wonderful and feels like they're here at Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was one of my husband's favorites. And I know I've talked about this before, but I was afraid in the first couple of Thanksgivings. Like, I don't know how to have people over. I don't want to cook. I don't want to be involved in this socialization. I have two kids though. Do I just blow off the holiday? Do I spend it in bed and be even more sad? I didn't know what to do. So the different thing that I did is, yeah, everybody pitched in. We had everything that we would have normally have on Thanksgiving. But then afterwards, we all went out back and we set up chairs and a fire ring and we made a fire. And then I brought out a tray that I made with all the fixings for s'mores.
That's nice.
And we put music on outside, loud music, and we all toasted. And I actually didn't even, I left it out for people to make their own, but then I made a few, for anybody younger that didn't want to make it, that were already wrapped in foil
Right,
that we could just put on a grill there.
right, right.
Right? And I got to tell you, and I made hot rum toddies and hot chocolate in the crock pot. And that
Wow.
was a big hit because everybody could take what they want and had a nice time. So it was a different memory.
Yep, yep.
Sure, we've talked about that on a Thanksgiving show. I don't mean to repeat
Yes,
myself, but it
yes,
was different, but it still was okay and it was
right,
fun and
right.
we talked about him, right? So
Yep,
that's important.
yep, yep. Yeah, fall is a
That's
beautiful
just
season, but a difficult season for people. As you watch the
with
leaves
every
turning
season,
brown, you know, you see that
as with every
change.
season, and that's what we're talking about here, that every season will bring something a little bit different, still tears,
Yes, still tears, which are fine, which are
still
fine.
finding your way through,
Yep,
and but you will be okay. You will see some light again. And it's important for you to know this because while we're grieving, Lisa, most of us won't, most of us don't read books
yeah,
about the grieving
yeah,
process or listen to videos. How do I help myself with the grieving? Most don't. The people who do gain knowledge, and that's great that they're doing that. But while you're going through, most don't.
very
And
difficult
you
process.
get this today, and you know this even before something happens in your life. We're all going to die. We're here
Yep,
for a short amount of time. So if you know this and you know that you'll get through the season or a few seasons, but you'll be okay, that helps to know that.
yes. But
Like if we
people,
look at the future sometimes, right? I know you can't see that
yeah,
very much.
yeah, yeah. Very hard when you're in it. Very
Yeah,
hard when you're in it. And it feels like you're out of control. Everything is just different and difficult. But what we're
and
saying,
different losses are different.
that's right. That's
Different
right.
losses are different. If this is a spouse that you've been with for
Mm,
25, 50 years, 60 years, I mean,
yes, yes. Rebuild your whole life. Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
know what life is like without that person
That's
standing
right.
next to you.
That's
So
right.
that grief is a little bit different than an aunt or an uncle or maybe even a grandparent.
Yes, yes.
Losing a child is something none of us, we can't imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and we see it along our own journeys. We'll hear of a friend maybe who's lost a child, and we say, "Oh, we just can't
Mm,
imagine."
it's
And I
true.
don't specialize in that, so we
Yeah,
can't even imagine.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But these things happen, and it's all a part of life, and we're
Yes,
human beings, and we were put here on earth to learn and get through these challenges, and we will, and
yes.
we do.
We do. We do. So soak up fall because fall is just an opportunity to experience, a new season. Yeah, a different
Absolutely.
season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us what you've
Uh,
been up to lately.
I hope this helped a little bit. I always do a few things at once, Lisa.
Yes.
I feel like a
Yes.
juggler.
Yes. I relate.
I
I
client
relate.
here, I go to work, do this, I do that, I work on my healing garden. But because I've lost my spouse, that gives me, it opened up. It opened up my calendar in such a way, although my calendar feels more busy than ever because of the things that I'm bringing in that I do, but that's my choice.
Sure.
But
Sure.
it's filled it now in such a way that I'm doing many things and as a single person.
Yes.
you know, trying new things, new opportunities. Anyway, you know, what I had talked to you about this morning. So I work on the legacy book with seniors, and that's great. That's wonderful for their children and grandchildren to know all about their lives. And I love doing it. It's a 4-week project in person here on Long Island or on Zoom. And we get this done. It's 12 by 12 hardcover published book. But I've done a couple clients now that are young, you know, young parents with very young children who will never get a chance to know them.
Mm.
And we're talking 6 and 8 years old, 8 and 10 years old, who will never get to know their mom or dad. So I've been focusing a little bit more on that because what I found was, as wonderful as the legacy book is to know your ancestor, it's even more profound and a treasure to know your parent who didn't get to raise you and who isn't here anymore because of a terminal diagnosis. So I've been working on looking for clients that I can help and serve in this way. That's what I've been doing more
That's
recently.
amazing. Amazing work and so important for people.
It's so, I just, when I talk about it and I think about it, it just, I, so with the 14 losses I've had, Lisa, you know, that, and then in my work now, my whole life surrounds end of life in everything that I do. And out of everything that I have done along my 5-year journey now, this has to be the most valuable to me.
Huh.
It's the most valuable treasure that somebody can give to another person. You're gifting them your heart
Yes.
and your wisdom and your education and your love.
Yes.
It's all right there.
Yes. Beautiful. That's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
So that's what I've been working on. How about you, Lisa?
Okay. Uh, I've been away from bereavement and in my own work with my next book is in career work. But because I'm always meeting people, I'm always handing the card because our YouTube video series has almost 100 videos and has been so incredible in picking out topics that people need to talk about.
Right.
So on a
That's what we try
train,
to do.
on a plane, I mean, it happens all the
Right.
time. So just being
Please like
present.
our videos and share them or follow our page so you see the next video. You
Yeah.
know, we are trying now that we have about 100 videos to build some momentum on the channel and reach
As
many
many
more
people as
people than
possible.
we ever did.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Okay. It's good work. Good work.
Good work.
Thank you so much, Susan, as always.
Thank you, Lisa, and enjoy your first week of fall.
You too. You take
See
good
you next
care, all
time.
right? Bye.
Bye.